Hi, I'm David Johnson, and this is Verse by Verse, a short podcast all about exploring the insights and lessons of the inspired Word of God. Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "There is properly no history, only biography." For many people, the word history makes them think of a collage of names and places and dates and events that may or may not seem to have any relevance to how we live our day-to-day lives. But Emerson was making the point that history is really the story of people, some of whom lived their lives well, some who did not, some of whom were well prepared for the challenges of life, while others seemed to be continually bewildered and confused by those same challenges. Some faced life with courage and hope, while others were content to simply look for someone to blame for their failures. In the modern world, we find contradictory ideas about what constitutes success. Countless movers and shakers, the influencers of our age, devote themselves to achieving material successes, only to find that material success is ultimately an ephemeral, fleeting substitute for what really matters. In no area of life is this more important than in the truths revealed in the pages of the Bible. In the first century world, the author of the book of James was inspired to offer some timeless advice for those who wish to succeed in the most important areas of life. In James 1, verses 22 through 25, we read, "But be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man observing his natural face in a mirror. He observes himself, goes away, and immediately forgets what kind of man he was. But he who looks into the perfect law of liberty and continues in it, and is not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this one will be blessed in what he does." James begins with the concept that just hearing about the right way to live is never going to be enough. The person who wants to succeed in the areas of life that offer more than temporary satisfaction must make a conscious decision to act upon what he's heard. Anything less than that is simply an exercise in self-deception. He then goes on to illustrate his point by describing a man carefully examining himself in a mirror and then walking away without making any changes. Such a man probably convinces himself that though he's busy and has other things on his mind at the moment, he will get around to addressing the problems he saw in the mirror as soon as he can. But he doesn't. Maybe he begins to notice that other people have flaws too, and his aren't any worse than anyone else's. In fact, compared to most people, he's not all that bad. He doesn't purposely forget what he saw in the mirror. It isn't intentional. It just gradually fades from his consciousness. But then James tells us about a man who judges himself by a different standard, a standard James calls the perfect law of liberty. We're told he looks carefully, he keeps looking, and he acts upon what he sees. No excuses, no delays, no blaming, no self-deception. And then James points out another promise. The God who provided that perfect law of liberty will personally intervene to help the man who's trying to do what he sees as right. He does not need to succeed on his own strength alone. He will be blessed by God himself in his efforts. You and I have the ability to choose which of those two men we will be. We have the power to make a conscious choice to search through that same perfect law of liberty, the perfect instructions for achieving a success that cannot be measured in physical terms, and make those divinely given instructions our personal code of conduct in every situation and relationship. And if we do, as James assures us, we will receive God's personal blessings upon our efforts. And one more important characteristic of that choice: we can't make it once and then forget it. We must keep making it every day, every moment, every situation. And when we do, God himself has our back, and we will receive his blessings in all we do.
Verse by Verse is a companion podcast to the Daily Bible Verse blog, which you can find on the Life, Hope, and Truth Learning Center. Check out the show notes for more.